Hello. So I decided I'm going to go live and talk about the new moon in Taurus. I was going to make a video, and maybe I still will make a video, but I decided just to go live and try something new. So if anyone has any questions about this new moon, go ahead and let me know. This new moon is going to be in Taurus, and it is going to be exact on the East Coast at 11:22 p.m. That means it's going to be 8:22 p.m. Let me see something. Yeah, 8:22 p.m. On the West Coast, which is about a little less than 4 hours from now. So we have some time to prepare. And usually we don't make any wishes during the void of course when there's a new moon. Usually at some point during the 48 hours of the new moon, the moon goes void of course, and this is when we don't want to make any wishes. This time it's pretty easy to figure out when we're not going to make our wishes, because it goes void of course for only about an hour or so, an hour and a half. So that's going to be between 5:55 p.m. and 7:20 p.m. on May 8th. And that's it. So we really do have the majority of the 48 hours starting 11:22 p.m. Eastern, 8:22 p.m. Pacific to make our wishes. Any Tauruses out there, holla in the chat. But it is Taurus season, and let me tell you something. Aries season was a lot. It was a lot for me, and it was a lot for a lot of people. So this month we can make wishes about money, about sensual pleasure, about contentment, perseverance, patience, self-worth, and releasing stubbornness. Okay, because Taurus is an earth sign, and a lot of times to get an earth sign to move takes a lot. It's a lot. At the same time, it's a grounding force, and so it's not necessarily a bad thing. But when it's time to move, to get to, anything that's not in motion takes a lot of energy to get going. And so yes, we can look at it as stubbornness, or we can look at it as just a little more challenging to move out of that position where it is really grounded, right? So hi Shane. So we're looking at accumulation, right? This can look like money, but there's also resources, possessions, material things, whatever you own. So we can make wishes about these things. And what do wishes look like when you're making new moon wishes? Well, we're looking at things, we're wording them in a way that is really positive, and in a way where we really believe these things. They can be looked at as affirmations, because you can write a wish or you can write an intention, but if it doesn't match how you really feel and what you really believe, this is not going to be the best thing to do, because it's not like, oh, I wish for $1 million, unless you really feel like that's your next step. We're making intentions for the next step, not for something that is just like way out there, or you're not wishing for someone else to fall in love with you, or you're not wishing for somebody else to do something. This is like deep intentions that you have the intention of really putting your energy into, and not just sitting back and not putting any of your own energy into it and thinking that something's just going to happen out of the blue. But we're using the energy of the universe, of the stars. We're using the energy of the planets to assist us. And that's why we're focusing on these specific categories, because these are the ones that Taurus is aligned with. Okay, so some sample wishes for Taurus are I want to easily find myself creating financial independence in a happy way. And we say easily to make sure that whatever is happening in a smooth way. We're being really intentional about the way that we're wording these things. Because you know what they say, be careful what you wish for. So I want lots of money in a happy way, right? Or I want all self-sabotaging anxieties around money totally lifted from me. So the way that this wish is worded is not saying I don't want. It's talking about what you do want. That's where we're focusing our energy, on the things that we actually want. So I want anxieties about money to be easily lifted from me. Or I want to easily find myself taking steps that lead to owning my own blank house, car, etc. Or I want clear thinking regarding money, leading to my handling my resources in a way that's in my overall best interest. So again, we're being really, really intentional about how we're making these wishes for the new moon in Taurus, how we're making these wishes about money. We're being really, really strategic, really, really intentional about the way that we word things. We want these things to come in an easy, flowing way. We want to make sure we're focusing on what we want and what we truly believe, not what we don't want. Another area of wishes that we can make is the physical senses. So this can be sensuality, this can be heightened tactile enjoyment, massage, playful, like tastes, right? Like tastes, aromas, these physical things. We're talking about Taurus here. So some wishes are, I want to find myself successfully initiating an enjoyable experience of massage with my mate at least blank times a week, right? Or blank times a month if you're in a relationship. Or you can say things like, I want to easily find myself taking the time to cook, to savor and appreciate my meals. Or I want to find myself enjoying and appreciating tastes, smells, textures of the foods that I eat. What about easily wanting to attract and recognize and begin working with the right massage therapist for you, right? The third area is the enjoyment of just being alive, life on earth. So we're talking about appreciation, gratitude, the simple physical pleasures, and rapport with nature, satisfaction, contentment, right? So here, some wishes are, I want to enjoy and appreciate my life. That's a big one. And I feel like we can all use that one, because sometimes we need to really, really be aware of what it is that we are doing here. You know, like we have so many things that we're hustling for, striving for, trying to have, but are we enjoying ourselves? Are we enjoying our life? Like, that's the reason why we're here. And what about, I want to easily find myself consciously and consistently appreciating the abundance of life and Mother Nature. These are little, what about gardening? Maybe you want to garden, because that's another way to appreciate and experience nature. Right? I want to easily find myself gardening a minimum of blank days a week. That's another one that we can do. Also building. That's another area. Building. I want solid foundations, persistence, progressing step by step, building step by step, because nothing gets built all at once. It's all step by step. Thoroughness, perseverance, right? So I want to easily find myself with persistence, continually pressing on until my goal of blank is met, is reached, right? And we're talking about the new moon, Taurus. Hi, Red Juicy. And here's another sample wish for that. I want the consistency to steadily progress step by step until I accomplish my goal of blank. Okay? Or I want the habit of trying to rush results easily lifted from me. Because Taurus is an earth sign and we are talking about nature, and if we plant a seed, we can't rush the results of that seed being blossoming and blooming and fruit and all that. Like we can't rush that. There's a certain amount of time that nature takes. Nature has all the seasons and nature takes its time to grow. And so when we're building, solid foundations are really important, and understanding what it takes to build and grow something. So another category of wishes that we can make for the new moon of Taurus is reliability. Okay, Taurus rules reliability. Okay, so we can make wishes about patience or dependability, trustworthiness. Okay, and steadfastness. So a sample wish for this would be, I want to easily find myself keeping my word and being a person that others can rely on. Now, if you're making this wish, it's really important that when you say you want to keep your word, be mindful of the words that you are making, the words that you are creating, that you must keep. Because we don't need to make promises to people unless we really intend on keeping them. And yes, things happen, but this is, writing this wish is not just about keeping your word, but it's about being mindful about the words that you are saying to people, the things that you are committing to, so that you can easily keep those words, so that you can easily engage with that. Or I want to easily find myself patiently, step by step, accomplishing my goal of blank. Right? Patiently, step by step, dependable and trustworthy, right? That's the energy that we're having here, these wishes. I want to easily find myself relying on my own efforts for success. Okay? Relying on trusting yourself, because it's important for us to be trustworthy for other people, but trusting yourself is the first step. That's why making sure that you are aware of the words that you're keeping, the words that you're committing towards others, and keeping your own word to yourself, and just being honest with yourself. Some more wishes for Taurus are about self-worth. So these could be about awareness of personal needs. Hi, Valonius. Hello, cosmetic gal. Hi, Malcolm. Good to see you. So for Taurus, some wishes that we can make about self-worth, right, are in the areas of personal needs, awareness of your own personal needs, setting appropriate boundaries, strong values, determination, self-acceptance, right? Knowing your worth is really important, because it is going to help you set those boundaries. Make sure that you are not betraying yourself with the decisions you're making, with the people that you're committing yourself to, the projects that you're committing yourself to, right? Being really, really aware of your values, because your values are like an anchor. Your values are helping you understand what is worth engaging in, who is worth engaging in. Your values are really important to have, to really understand what your values are, because when it comes to choosing a partner, when it comes to choosing a project, when it comes to working with people, when it comes to making decisions, your values, knowing what your values are and then being able to assess the situation, like, are these aligned with my values? Like, that's so important, and it helps make things a lot easier when it comes to discerning against your values. So I want lots of strength and determination leading to my maintaining blank, a decision or a stance. Another sample wish for this is, I want to define what's important to me and easily find myself living according to those values. Or I want to easily find myself communicating my needs to others in a way that encourages them to support me, because a lot of times people just need to know you, and we just need to communicate. We have to really advocate for ourselves. We cannot expect other people to know us better than we know ourselves. And a lot of times, if we want to be treated a certain way, or we want things to be taken into consideration, it's important that we actually voice those and communicate those non-violently, like respectfully, in a way that we're not just expecting people to know and read our minds, right? Giving them a chance to treat us the way that we want to be treated. Another example is, I want to consciously and consistently experience feelings of self-worth in every area of my life. Or I want to easily find myself being true to my own timing and comfort zones. So again, this is really about honoring yourself. That's step one. And then others can honor you too, because you are setting the example of what you allow and what you choose to engage in and how you treat yourself. And this is really important when you have kids. Super important when you have kids in any relationship. But with kids, it's like they're watching us and we're modeling for them our self-worth and our boundaries and our values. Another area in Taurus is related to inflexibility. So this is stubbornness, attachment, resistant to change, possessiveness, holding dogmatic opinions, and also stagnation. So we can make some wishes about this, okay? I want all self-defeating stubbornness easily lifted from me. All right, I want all self-defeating stubbornness easily lifted from me. Self-defeating, okay? Because sometimes stubbornness could be serving you, okay? We ain't here just to like listen to every Tom, Dick, and Harry and let them overrun what we know to be true inside. Sometimes your stubbornness can work out in your favor. So we want to make sure that we are only trying to eliminate these self-defeating stubbornness. Or I want to easily find myself expressing my views in ways that do not shut others out of the conversation. So really holding on to your values, your views, but then being open and understand that we all have differences and making room for that. Expand to include others. Or I want the habit of lazy stagnation totally lifted from me. Or I want all non-constructive resistance to change easily lifted from me. Because like I talked about in the beginning, Taurus can be kind of stubborn, right? But that's also because it's a strong grounding force. So because this object is not in motion, it takes a lot of energy to get it in motion. But once things are in motion, there's momentum. So we're just trying to get a little push, right? A little push if there's some resistance. Also, I want to easily find myself embracing constructive change. Now, the last one, this is the last one. Yes, lifted with flow and ease. Exactly. We're being so mindful about the way that we're making these wishes. We're being so mindful about how we state them. We're saying that we want these things to come easily with flow, right? We're saying that we want, we're talking about what we want, not what we don't want. And regarding health, because all the signs have something to do with health in the body, in some kind of body part, right? So with Taurus, this is coughs, the throat, the chin, the neck, the thyroid, the voice, the vocal cords, right? So this whole area here. So if you have any wishes pertaining, we can ask, we can say, hey, I want total healing to occur in the area of my blank. This could be any of those parts that I just mentioned: the throat, the chin, the thyroid, the neck, the voice, the vocal cords. Or if you have a cough or something like that. And a lot of people do. Ever since COVID, I feel like, did I say that? But a lot of people have like some coughs going on, especially if you have kids in school. It's like the never-ending cough. So this could be a good time to really focus on healing those areas. Or I want to easily attract and recognize and begin working with the right healers for me to restore my, again, it could be the throat, the chin, the neck, the vocal cords, the thyroid gland. You can even say, I want to attract the right information that leads me to a total healing of my tendency to blank, if any of those areas are distressed. So these are just some of the wishes. You can make your own wishes based on these categories. You can get creative, but I think, the most important thing is we make no more than 10 wishes. We only talk about what we want. We make wishes about what you intend or what you want for yourself and not what you want others to do. And you make sure that you're really intentional about the way you're writing them. You want these things to come easily. You want these things to come with flow, just as Elena said. And again, the categories are money, possessions, material world, sensual pleasure, contentment, perseverance, patience, self-worth, and releasing stubbornness. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to put it in the comments. I'm not sure if I'm going to post this or not. Should I post this? But, just reading off some sample wishes and things like that. Does it count for kids too? Like only for us, not for things? Yes, exactly. This is going to be for you, and I will say that, Rachel, nice to see you. As a mom, right? The wishes that you make for yourself ultimately are going to count for your kids because you're modeling these things. And so when you have the intentions and when you are embodying these things for yourself, your kids will benefit. They will benefit from your energy of doing these things, and they will benefit from your modeling of these things. But again, we can't make wishes for other people. But depending on how old your kids are, like we can get our kids involved in seeing if they are relating to any of these wishes or intentions. Maybe I don't know, like, is there something? Let me think. I mean, maybe a kid relates to wanting to be more patient, and maybe they can just hold that one intention, like, I want to be more patient. Or, and they can do that for themselves. We can empower them to hold that for themselves. So hopefully that answers your question. It's a good question, though. It's a really good question. But yeah, we can't make wishes for what we want for others or what we want others to do or be. So I think that's going to be it, guys. It was so nice hanging out with y'all. And I might make another video just quickly, because I try to do my new moon videos in like 1 minute flat. And again, on the East Coast, the new moon in Taurus is exact at 11:22 p.m. And on the West Coast, it is exact at 8:22 p.m. And fill in the blanks with all the other time zones. Sorry, Central Mountain, 3 hours is what I understand. But you're welcome, cosmetic gyal. I don't know why I have to say gyal like a Jamaican. Elena's Roots, you're welcome. Rachel, nice to see you. You're welcome. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. Oh, hi Rachel. You just caught the end of this. I might post it. I'm not sure. But I might post it and see. I'm not sure, but yeah. So there you go. And also, if anybody is curious, I was sharing some of these from the book New Moon Astrology by Jan Spiller, where she has all of these new moon suggestions and different affirmations, sample wishes. So that's where I was reading from. Okay, Rachel, I'll think about it. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Happy new mooning.